Okay, welcome everybody. We will get started. We're excited to have you here. We have a special guest from Aging Adult Services, Paige Corley, to go over some basics of Tai Chi and hopefully give you a new form of movement that you can use throughout your lives, but especially during March into May as we're doing a lot of walking and things. We want time to recover or to use our muscles in a different way so that we can rest the ones that have been walking or hiking, running. But I'll turn the time over to you, Paige, to introduce yourself and get us started.
All right. Well, thank you, Sadie. I appreciate it. And hello to everyone here today. As Sadie said, I'm from Aging and Adult Services, and I'm a health educator with that team. And I currently manage the Tai Chi for Arthritis class. So that's where I get a lot of my information from, although the program is comprehensive with Tai Chi. And so I was going to tell you about some of the benefits. Let me tell you a little bit about my background very quickly, and it really has to do with Tai Chi. My background is fitness, so I, was a personal trainer and group exercise instructor. I love to do cardio. I love to lift weights. Currently, I'm into more of the high intensity interval training, CrossFit type stuff. So I like to go hard when I work out. That is kind of my MO. I like to have muscle, and strength is very important to me. So when I was asked to manage the Tai Chi program, it wasn't that I was hesitant, but I was like, okay, here's this Tai Chi. I had all my judgments on what Tai Chi is and what it was going to be. But I did it because I was asked to, and because I think in the back of my mind, I was kind of interested in what it could bring to my fitness regime, because you never are complete with fitness, right? There's always something else that you can do. You don't have to, but there's always something else that you can do. So that's kind of how I came in. So for those of you who are kind of like, I don't know about Tai Chi, I get it. I totally get it. I will say that I have fallen in love with Tai Chi. It is, I'm teaching it currently, so I do it once a week with a group. And I practice it a couple of times a week. I wish I would practice it more. I currently have a pretty heavy load, and that's probably why I'm not doing it more. But I wanted to talk about the benefits of Tai Chi. And there's a lot of benefits to it. And this was one where when I was going through the training, I had to watch a DVD. And again, I was very like, I don't know. Because the fellow, his name was Dr. Paul Lamb, he would say, Tai Chi does this and does that. And I was a total skeptic. But one of the things that I think we can all agree on is Tai Chi is good for balance. And that's why it's so highlighted with the older adults, right? Because it really does help with balance. And it does help with balance, partly because you're just becoming more body aware. A lot of people don't have body awareness, whether it's because they just don't have it. Maybe they were never into fitness or never into sports. They never had any reason to really be aware of their body. But of course, with the older adults, we have a lot of falls, and we want to prevent the falls, right? Anything we can do to prevent falls. So I think that's a big reason that Tai Chi is so uh, well known in the older adult community where I work with Aging Adult Services. So the balance comes through weight shifts, and we're going to go over that today. I'm not going to talk for very long. We're going to actually move, and part of that comes from weight shifts. So we're going to go over some weight shifts and getting aware of your body. The second area that it helps is strength. And this was one when Dr. Lamb said this helps with muscular strength. I was like, no, it doesn't, because you're not lifting weights. Again, I was very close-minded. But the reality is it does help with strength because you're having to hold positions. I don't know if anybody here on the call has ever done a wall sit where you lean up against the wall and you kind of squat into a squatting position. Tai Chi is similar to that. We find ourselves within a little bit of a mini squat with our heels on the ground, holding that position, and it definitely builds strength in the legs. And so building the muscle in the legs also helps to support that falls risk, right? To get rid of or to minimize falls risk. So it definitely helps with lower body strength. Absolutely, kind of like the walking does, right? It helps with it, but in a little bit in a very different way. Cardiovascular. No, Tai Chi is not, it is not getting your heart rate up to 60, 70, 80% of your heart rate max, but you are standing up. You are moving your body. Tai Chi is absolutely okay for anybody who needs to sit. So if you're at your desk and you need to take a break and you need to do some Tai Chi, you can absolutely do it. We do not exclude people who cannot stand or who are not ambulatory. But vast majority of the people who participate, we're trying to change that and get some seated people in, do stand. Remember, just to stand and just to walk around and move our body is an aerobic activity. It takes energy, it takes oxygen to move our body. And that's what I'm trying to get across more and more to people is exercise isn't for sports. It's not for athletics. It's for getting up and going into the kitchen and going into the bathroom or going more so down the stairs out of your house to the grocery store or wherever you need to be. Remember, I'm very focused on older adults when I think about things. The fourth area, so anyway, with cardio, anytime we get up, we're using our heart, right? We want to use our heart. Heart's super important. Um, we want to keep our lungs flexible. We want to keep our body able to react to life. So if you find yourself traveling and you find yourself at maybe even at the new Salt Lake City airport where you have those long corridors you got to get down, you better have some cardiovascular. So this is going to help. It helps with our brain health. We're learning new things. So you'll see in just a moment when we start to move, a lot of these moves are foreign to people. So and a lot of body awareness is foreign to people. So actually having to learn how our bodies move and to learn different movements is learning something new. And if you haven't heard, one of the biggest defenses against developing dementia, and Alzheimer's is part of dementia, is learning new things, keeping our brain healthy. So this is part of that endeavor of learning something new, challenging our body, keeping our brains healthy. And then the last area is emotional. And so our emotional health, this definitely has a stress management component to it. Um, it's going to make us sleep better. It's going to make us better at our jobs. So if you want to take a 10-minute break during your working time to do a little bit of seated or cubicle Tai Chi, you can do that. And most likely you're going to come back and do better work in the afternoon. So those are the five main areas, which are five main areas that any exercise should hit. So Tai Chi checks all the boxes on that. And then there's three main areas we want to think about when we're doing Tai Chi. One is we want to have slow motions, slow, smooth motions. And I always tell people, fake it till you make it. Whenever someone says, hey, are you teaching today? I'll say, oh, yeah, I'm teaching Tai Chi. And I do this because that is what I think of when I think of Tai Chi, just slow motions. Well, in a way, I am practicing Tai Chi when I do that. I also want to pretend like there's a gentle resistance in the air. So maybe if your hand was going through water, what movement would your hand do going through water? And that's very similar to Tai Chi. That's that movement that you'll see is that resistance against that invisible force. So that's very small, very slow and smooth. The second main area is we want to always maintain our upright posture, have that nice strong abdominal area, chest up. We don't want to be leaning. There's no leaning and moving in Tai Chi, so it really does help with core strength. Um, and then, of course, our weight transfer, being aware of our weight. And the last thing, and these are very specific to Tai Chi, is we want to relax our joints. And in Tai Chi, they call it Song, Song, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing. But that means to relax the joints. So unlike a lot of exercise programs where they're making you hit fast or move quickly, Tai Chi is very, very, very different. Everything's soft. If you lift your elbow up, that creates stress in the shoulders. We don't want that. Lower those elbows down, bend your arms, right? Make everything soft in that. So it's very, very nice, especially for those of you who are already exercising. This is a really nice swing to the other direction. And then the last thing that we want to do is Jing, or Jing. And again, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, our mind. So this is where that emotional and stress relief and meditative aspect of Tai Chi comes in. Jing actually means mental quietness. It means not thinking about anything else than what you're doing. And Tai Chi is like that. I'm really amazed at how quickly the hour goes when I teach because all I'm thinking about is Tai Chi. Tai Chi and my people. I'm not thinking about what I need to do later. Many of you, I know you're working. That's how it works on these meetings. You're not zinging your mind right now, right? We're all out here, and I know that we can't always be in the moment. But if you take anything away from this, take away that you need to give yourself 2, 3, 4, 10, 60 minutes a day where you truly are only focusing on that one thing, whether that be breathing or painting or exercising, but not thinking about all the things that you need to do because that makes us stressed, right? So, with that, if you can stand up with me, I'm going to move my camera back so that I can, let me just make sure that I can see myself here uh, and that it looks right. Okay. Well, y'all will have to let me know because I can't get it to just go on me. All right. So I'm going to move my chair. If you need a chair, please keep it. And if you don't need a chair, great. Stand up, right? Your choice. So Sadie, if you can't see my feet and my head, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to progress as if you can. So let's stand.
Yes.
Okay, right on. Thank you. Let's stand or sit with our feet in a comfortable position. So one of the things that I like to do is just kind of lean side to side and just kind of feel, are my feet basically under my hips? And you can even go forward and back, but you need to be careful about that because there's not a lot of motion, not a lot of movement forward and back. But just kind of feeling. If you have any yogis in the crowd here, if you stand with your feet together, you don't have nearly as much side to side motion. I mean, a good yogi might, but for me, who I'm not a good yogi, I want that, a little bit wider stance. Tai Chi, you'll hear them talk about the Dantian, which is the Dantien. And really, for my purposes, I'm going to call that the center of gravity. And we've heard about the center of gravity in our body. And when our center of gravity is off, that's when we tend to fall. And this can be thought of when you're walking. They say walking is like controlled falling, right? That's because we're always moving forward. So our center of gravity is always moving forward. What happens when you hit, if you're walking down the sidewalk and you hit one of those ledges, that are in the sidewalk and you fall forward? That Dantian or that center of gravity is thrown forward very quickly and you have to right yourself. And that's where we have people who maybe are deconditioned or not expecting it. You don't have to be out of shape to fall by any means. And you definitely don't have to be old to fall, right? We can all fall. We are all going to fall. The difference is, do you break when you fall or do you just bruise when you fall? So that Dantian, we want to become very aware of where that Dantian is so that we can minimize our fall risk. So to start, we're going to go through the warm up that we do in Tai Chi. And I really like it. I think it's a wonderful warm up. So follow along if you'd like. I'm going to stand or sit up nice and tall with my feet rooted into the earth and my head pulling up towards the heavens. Or you can just think of it as standing up nice and tall, pulling the chin in, hands down to the side. And we're going to bring our hands up with our palms down. Elbows are soft. Turn the palms towards your face and then pull your chin in, straightening the back of the neck. Press the hands away. And then as the hands go down, follow those hands down. Let's do that again. Imagine that heavy water. Elbows are soft. Palms towards the body. Pull the chin in. So we're not looking down. We're just pulling that chin in. Hands away and down. Good. And again. Up. Nice soft elbows. Chin in. Hands away and down. Good. This time we're going to lift both hands up just like before. About halfway up, we're going to stop and turn one palm towards our body. The other hand's going to go down towards the ground. And we're going to follow that hand with just our head. And then we're going to switch. We're going to take the other hand up and follow. And we're not pushing beyond a comfortable. So if you've been at your computer and your neck is tight, don't push. Just follow that hand to where you feel a gentle stretch and then stop and go to the other side. The wonderful thing about Tai Chi is you don't want to stress your body. This is supposed to make us feel better. Now, I think all exercise makes me feel better, but sometimes the during part can be rather uncomfortable. And Tai Chi is not like that. And remember, we move slow, and that sometimes is a turn off to people. But the reality is, this is the one time you can move slow. There's no rush in Tai Chi. That's what Dr. Lamb always says, and I love that. All right, hands down. So we're done with our neck. We're going to go to our shoulders and we're going to roll the shoulders forward 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Nice and easy. And then back. And these are small rotations. We're not looking to move our whole shoulder. Good. And now we're going to take the hands up and press down. You have to give this a scooping up energy and pressing it down, or you can just think of it as moving your arms. You don't have to make this spiritual. You don't have to make it anything other than what you need it to be. It can just be purely moving your body. Good. And relax. Okay, now we're going to go to our torso. And from here, we're going to pretend, y'all heard of the chi ball, right? You imagine that you have one of like a beach ball that we would use at a pool, right? And kind of feel where that ball is. And the Tai Chi thought on this is there's chi points in our palms, and when you put them opposite of each other, they create energy. If you don't believe that, don't worry about it. Just imagine that ball there. And then once you find one hand on top, what we're going to do is just twist our body towards that hand, switch the other hand on top, and twist. Now, this time we're actually twisting our torso. Right? We're twisting the whole torso, not the head like before. Think about having your belly button change position, having the belly button twist. Good. Let's do that one more time. Excellent. Hands go down, and we're going to take one hand up towards the ceiling. We're not looking at that hand, and then we're going to switch. So one palm is down towards the ground, other hand is up, and elbows are soft. Working on that spine. So that little bit of lean that you get. You might also feel this in your shoulders. Good, let's do that one more time each side. Remember, if you don't have your palm down on the bottom, don't worry about it. There's so many little intricacies with Tai Chi. Just do what you can. Good. Coming back to center, and we're going to go to our hips. And for this one, you might need to hold on to your chair. If you have balance issues, be thoughtful. We're going to press our hands back as we put one heel forward and then toe back as arms come forward. So a little bit of coordination here. This is our body's chance to start to balance. Right? Good. Now the next time the feet come together, and let's switch hands, go back, other leg, heel out, toe back. And if it's too much for you, stop in the middle, right? If you're seated, do the same thing. You don't have to make this a full from toe to heel, especially if that's uncomfortable or causes you stress, right? Good, and relax, coming back to center. Continuing with our hips, we're going to pretend like we're mimes and there's 2 walls that are just as wide as our body. So your walls are as wide as your body. And we're going to push against that wall on one side and take the opposite leg out. Push against that wall, opposite leg out, and keep those shoulders down. Keep that tension out of your neck. Good, and one more. Excellent. All right. Now we're moving on to our knees. So we're going to take our hands with a fist up towards the ceiling, and we're going to take one leg and we're just going to put our toe out in front, kind of the ball of the foot, and then bring it back. We're not shifting our weight. So this is our first weight shift activity. We're just putting our foot out and coming back. And now, if you can, add the opposite knee bend to lower you towards the floor. Here's where that strength comes in. And then the last thing or the second to last thing we're going to do is add the opposite arm, and we're going to punch. So we're not doing a weight shift here. We're putting that leg out in front, but we're not committing to it. Imagine that it's a sheet of ice in front of us. We're not going to commit to that sheet of ice. Good. Now the next one we're going to do is we are going to commit. We're going to bend the knee, take that little bit of a step out, and then shift our weight forward and bring it back. So we're not shifting all of our weight forward. Bend, step, shift like 40 or 50% forward and then back. So that back heel stays down. Shouldn't be hard to shift your weight back because we haven't committed to going forward. Do one more each side. Opposite hand punches. All of these are used in Tai Chi. We're not going to use them all today because of the limited time. Good, and relax, but they're all used. Hands down, and again, if you have balance, hold on to that chair. Otherwise, it's heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, or we can go the other side. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, and then other foot, little toe, big toe, little toe, big toe. Really trying to get it in the ankle, not just the hip. Little toe, big toe, and other side. Little toe, big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe, big toe. Good. All right, excellent. Shake it out. So that's our warm up. And I love that warm up. That actually is a warm up that's available on YouTube through Paul Lamb. It's a wonderful 10, 12-minute experience. You get you get up, you get standing, you get your blood moving, and you move all of your joints. So it's a great thing to incorporate. And we're using all those principles of Tai Chi, right? So we're moving slowly as if there's resistance in the air. We have a nice upright posture. We're trying to soften our joints, and we're trying to only focus on what we're doing. So let's do, I don't know if any of you were in the Tai Chi demo that I did in January in person. I think it was January at the Government Center. We're going to do similar to that. And we're going to start with what's called commencement. And this is the beginning move in the 24, 21, 41 forms of Tai Chi that we use in the Tai Chi for Arthritis program. So to start, we're just going to practice our arms. So no legs. You can do this seated or standing. You can watch me. I'm going to take my arms up. My elbows are going to be soft. And I'm going to come down. And I'm going to make a U. I'm going to bring those hands close to my body. I'm going to come up my body, and I'm going to press them forward. All right. Palms are facing each other to get that energy going. I'm going to give you a side view. Come with me this time. Right. So I'm going to take the arms up. Elbows are soft, just to about shoulder height. Bring them down. Bring them up the body. Don't shrug the shoulders. And then we're going to push the hands forward. Always nice and soft. Let's do that one more time. Take the hands up. Imagine that water. Bring them down. Bring the hands towards your body, up the body, and then press them forward. Excellent. All right. Let's practice something on our legs, and we're going to add to it. All we're going to do is bend our knees. It's a little bit of a squat, but I'm not pushing my hips back. So if I were teaching a fitness class, if we were doing a squat, I'd be like, push your hips back and let's act like we're sitting in a chair. And this one, it's really just the knees. It's more of a softening of the knees. And what we're doing is getting closer to the ground. So imagine if you were on a slippery surface. You wouldn't be walking around here with stiff knees. You would soften your knees so that you could walk closer to the ground. So that's the idea of Tai Chi, is bending those knees. So let's just do that a few times. Bend those knees. And if this hurts your knees, don't do it, right? Heels stay down. So everybody's going to have a different level of bend. Mine is very little. Good. Excellent. Now let's put that together with the hands. So we're going to be standing up nice and tall, and we're going to commence. We're going to take the hands up. And now while we bring those hands down, bend those knees. Keep them bent as we bring the hands up the body and push them out. Good. Let's do that one more time. And commence. Hands come up, knees are straight. Bend the knees as the hands come down. Bring the hands towards the body, up the body, and press. Good. All right, we got one more thing for our legs. Before we get to that, we're going to do a few weight shift drills. So I'm going to step to one side, and I'm going to step. This is going towards my right. It doesn't really matter. But what I'm going to do is pretend like I'm stepping on a slippery surface. And we've all had wonderful opportunities this winter, right, to practice this, even though it's all gone now. But I'm going to bend my knees just like we practice. And I'm going to step as if I'm stepping onto a slippery surface. So I'm going to feel it. Oh, it's not that slippery. So I'm going to put my foot down, and I'm going to shift my weight all the way over and bring that trail leg to meet. And I'm going to shift over one leg. I'm going to reach. How's it feel? Oh, it feels pretty good. And I'm going to shift, and I'm going to follow. So the cues that I have is I'm going to shift my weight onto my left foot. I'm going to reach that right foot out, toe heel to the ground, make sure it's not slippery. And I'm going to shift all my weight over to my right foot as I bring that left foot in. I'm going to stand up. So imagine you're stepping into a shower, right? You're not sure if you're going to slide. So instead of just stepping in and sliding, we're going to bend both knees, shift onto that left foot. Here's where that muscular strength comes in. Put the right foot out, feels okay. Put the heel down, shift my weight over to the right foot, and bring the left foot in. So I always encourage my students to do that down their hallway. Next time you need to go to the bathroom, this is how you're going to the bathroom, right? It's just feeling that weight shift. Just being able to do this will help you not fall the next time that you're going from a solid surface to a slippery surface. So how it works for what we're going to do with commencement is we're actually going to shift our weight to our right foot. We're going to take just a teeniest step forward with our left, but look, I'm bending my knee, and then I'm going to shift my weight completely forward, and my right foot is going to follow. So let's do that again. Breathing in, we're going to shift to the right foot, take a little step forward with the left, shift the weight just like in the warm-up, and then the right leg follows. All right, so now we're going to put that all together into commencement. Standing up nice and tall or sitting up nice and tall, and commence. Hands come up. Bend the knees as the arms come down. Make that U, bring the hands in towards your body. Let them scoop up your body. And now shift your weight to the right foot. Take a little step with the left. And as you shift your weight, let your hands go out. Right foot follows. And the hands come in to the body. All right, let's do that one more time. So you can see how something as simple as what commencement is, because it's a very simple motion, has a lot of little intricate details, and we haven't even gone over all of them. So standing up nice and tall, ready, and commence. Hands come up, elbows are soft. As they come down, bend the knees, bring the hands towards the body, shift to the right foot, step with the left as we bring those hands up, Press the hands forward, step, and hands come in. The next move is called open close, and it is basically what you're thinking. We have the chi points in our palms, and we're going to exercise those chi points. We're going to pull them out and in. I'm going to take a breath and in, and again. So think of that chi ball instead of just here, like woo, I'm just moving my arms. Make your whole body move with that in and out motion. My knees are still bent. If that's too much for you, straighten them out. And the open close is used a lot in Tai Chi. All right, so we're going to add that in to our commencement. So standing up nice and tall and commence. Hands go up. Bend the knees as the hands come down. As you bring those hands towards your body, shift to your right foot. As you bring your hands up your body, step with the left, and then shift your weight forward as those hands come out. Right foot comes in line, hands come in and open, close. Excellent. Let's do that one more time. Of course, I can't see any of you all. I can barely see myself, but I'm assuming that we all look perfect. And that's the beauty of Tai Chi. You don't have to look perfect. What can you be doing this? Fake it till you make it, right? If you don't really know what I'm doing and you don't care, just move that body nice and smooth through air, right? Through or that imaginary water. All right. Commencement. Ready. And here we go. Hands come up. Elbows are soft. Bend the knees as you come down. Bring that arms in. Shift to the right foot. Take a step with the left. As you press those hands forward, shift the weight forward. Follow with that right foot. Hands come in and open, close. Good. All right. So next, we're going to do what's called single whip. And we're getting down to it. I do want to leave a little bit of time for question and answer here. Single whip. Let's do the legs for single whip. What it's going to do is I'm going to shift. Remember that weight shift. So remember, you see, we're using a weight shift all the time. I'm going to shift into my left foot, and I'm going to take that little step forward with my right. I'm going to shift my weight forward, but I'm not committing this time. I'm going to come back and put my right foot back in that same spot. That's it for single whip. Nice and simple. Let's do that again. So we're shifting to the left, stepping with the right, shifting the weight onto the right foot, but keep some weight on the left. Shift your weight back, and right foot goes back. Right? Simple enough. Let's practice the arms. So we've just come out of open close, and single whip looks like this. I'm going to take my arms forward, palms are facing each other. I'm going to keep my elbows soft. When I get to a certain point, I'm just going to turn my palms out, and I'm going to pretend like I'm opening a curtain. Then I'm going to take my right hand and bring it down. All right, let's do that again. Going from open close, press the hands forward, turn the palms, present them to me, open a curtain like you're looking through the curtain, take the right hand, bring it down. All right, let's do that one more time. From that open close, hands go forward, present the palm, open the curtain, hand comes down. Good. Now we're going to pair that with the legs. So you can watch me this first time or you can come with me. I'm going to shift to my, I'm going to shift to my right foot. Sorry, I've been doing that backwards. I teach mirrored, so I never know what my right and my left is anymore. Same verbiage. Ready? Shift to the right foot. Step with the left. Nope, I'm wrong. Yep, shift to the left foot, step with the right. Sorry. Press your weight forward. Present the palms, open the curtain. As you step back with that right foot, bring the right hand down. I was correct. Sorry, I was questioning myself. Let's do that again. So it's single whip right. So Single whip right, I know I'm going to be stepping with my right foot. You ready? We're going to shift to our left foot, step with the right, and as you shift your weight forward, take those hands out, stop, open the curtain, bring the right hand down, and with it, bring that right leg back in line. All right, let's do that one more time. Single whip right from that open close. Shifting left, stepping right, hands go forward as you shift your weight. Open the curtain, right hand comes down, right foot comes back. And there we are. So let's put that with our commencement. Take a deep breath, find that dantian, and commence. Hands come up. Bend the elbows as you come down, making that U, shifting to the right, stepping with the left foot. Press the hands forward, follow with that right foot. Bring the hands in, open, close. And now single whip right. We're going to shift to our left, step with that right foot, shift your weight as the hands go forward, stop and open the curtains. Right hand comes down, right foot comes back. Good. So that's 3 forms right there. Let's do that one more time. All right. It just goes so fast. I have to look at my watch because before I know it, it's going to be time. Standing up nice and tall, find that dantian. And from commencement, here we go. Hands up, palms facing each other. Bring the hands down, bend the knees. As the hands come close to the body, shift to the right, step with the left. As you shift your weight forward, hands go out, right foot follows. Hands come in, open, close. Good, single whip right. So we're going to shift left, take that little step with that right foot, shift your weight as your hands come out. Present the palms, open the curtain. Right hand comes down, right foot comes back in. Good. All right. So after this, we get into what's called wave hands. And it is much more detailed and much harder to do. But all we're going to do, because I'm going to stop here in just a moment, is we're going to start, and this is what I wanted to get to today, because I find that this is a really easy way to practice Tai Chi. And that's simply, besides walking to your bathroom like this, right? We're going to take one hand and we're going to make a circle. And I want you to think about dipping down, palm down, bring the hand up, and then have the hand go in front of your face, but so that that top of that middle finger is about even with your nose. And come down. Remember those 2 walls I talked about in the warm-up? We're kind of staying within those 2 walls. And we're, instead of letting our hands do the waving, our body is waving. Our body is twisting, just like with the warm-up. Our body is twisting. And this one takes a while. Now we're going to do it the other arm's going to come in. And I'm going to let this arm go out. I'm going to scoop down and up. Getting that middle finger just in line with my nose, my eyes. So I'm looking at that middle finger, palm down, face. You're looking at my palm now, and my palm comes down. And here's where it gets fun, is we're going to add in both hands. And notice my torso is moving. My hands are moving, but my torso is moving. And this is when usually students get a little frustrated. I know I did, and I still do at times, but this is a wonderful thing to practice. It's nice and slow. You're moving your torso. Your knees are bent. So, I mean, we're getting a lot of the effects of Tai Chi in just this one motion. Down and around. Good. Excellent. Let's go through the commencement single whip one more time, then we're going to cool down. Standing up nice and tall, feet rooted into the earth, head up towards the heavens, chin is in, and commence. Hands come up. As they come down, bend the knee, shift to the right, step with the left, shift your weight as your hands go forward, Open, close. Single whip right, shifting left, stepping with the right foot, shifting the weight, open the curtains. Right hand comes down as that right foot comes back. And you see from here, we just go right into those wave hands. All right, let's hit those quads. We're going to start our cool down. The cool downs, I don't think is as fun as the warm up, but it is definitely effective, right? If you've been sitting, it's a great way to move your hips. Just kind of hit on those thighs. And now we're going to stand and we're just going to tense everything in our body and then relax. And tense everything in your body and relax. And again, tense everything and relax. And let's scoop up that air and press it down. And again. And down. And one more time. And down. Excellent. Thank you for those of you who participated and those of you who listened to the presentation. If you have any questions, I would be very happy to answer any observations. You can practice Tai Chi, again, sitting at your desk, right? Technically, that's Tai Chi. You can wear any clothing, any types of shoes that you like. Please don't let people make you think you got to dress a certain way or wear certain things. If anything, working with older adults has taught me that you come as you are, right? Now, of course, we'd love to see more like tennis shoes that are secured on your feet. But other than that, it really is just what makes you comfortable. This, at the end of April, they're actually having a Qigong Day. It's right near the county offices at Washington Park. If you really want to go see people practicing Tai Chi in the park, it's very cliche, but it's very effective because you're out in nature. That is something that you might want to look at. And again, any questions out there? I saw a few things come through the chat, but I think they were just thank yous. Yes.
Yeah, a couple thank yous. I've put the sign-in link in the chat box if you haven't signed in already. Paige, that was wonderful. I didn't realize how meditative it would be.
Sorry. Yes, it really is. It's nice to quiet your mind. I mean, I know that my mind is not quiet. I'm always there's always stuff going on, and it is a wonderful, wonderful class. I look forward to the hour where I can just go and teach and not pay attention to my text or anything else that's going on, and just be. It's wonderful. So hopefully some of you can find ways to incorporate that in. If you would like to get in touch with me, you can do that through Sadie, or Sadie, you're welcome to put my email in the chat. It's pcorley@slc.org, or y'all can look me up. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have at a later time. There it is. Yes.
Thank you so very much. And I recorded this too, so if you want to follow along and do it during your breaks, that would be wonderful. But thank you again, Paige. That was just absolutely lovely.
Oh,
I
good.
noticed with myself that I definitely have a different balance on each side.
Yeah, it's quite it's informing the body awareness. I think it's one of the areas that we as people in general just kind of lack. Where's our body? And that's why we fall. So I'm glad you liked it. That's excellent. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.